The early to mid-90s were a veritable golden age of one-on-one fighting games. Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Darkstalkers, and a creative title from Sega called Eternal Champions. But I'm not reviewing any of those, oh no! I present to you the King! The one! The only! That's right, I'm reviewing Shaq Fu. No, really, I'm reviewing Shaq Fu. Yes, I know someone much funnier touched on this game before, but this was too good to pass up.
See, in my observation, an online reviewer can most easily get noticed in one of three ways. You can take a bad game and complain about it loudly. You can take a popular game and complain about it loudly. Or you can take a beloved classic and complain about it loudly. And I'm kind of taking a fourth option here. I have found a life-threateningly terrible game. I will provide a legitimate review, and I will trash it with a smile. I almost have to respect this game. I mean, it's a masterpiece of failure. I can't think of a single thing that this game got right, but it's bad in such spectacular ways that you just have to see it.
Shaq Fu's awfulness is close to legendary. In fact, it's so awful that there is indeed a website devoted to finding and destroying every single copy. Since this one was available for the Genesis, the Super NES, the Game Boy, the Game Gear, and Amiga home computers, they've taken on quite a task. This review will use the Super NES version because it's shorter than the Genesis version, and I want to get this over with as quickly as possible. But take heart! In both console editions, the game has 3 exciting modes of play! Tournament, Duel, and Story Mode. Tournament lets up to 8 players battle it out to see who takes the top spot. The tricky part, of course, is finding 7 other people who are willing to play Shaq Fu. The duel works like any standard fighting game. Pick your character and fight until you reach the end, or until you quit in disgust, whichever happens first.
Finally, there's Story Mode, in which you must play as Shaq and the game attempts to have a plot. Now, since this is the funniest option, that's the one I'll focus on.
Thus, let us embark upon an epic quest wherein we follow the mighty Shaq on his brave and heroic saga, nay, a test of character that will separate the men from the gods.
So basically, Shaq is in Japan and on his way to a charity game when Fu Manchu tells him he's the magic one and sends him to rescue some kid via a dimensional portal, conveniently located inside the Kung Fu Dude's storage closet. And Shaq, he just goes with it and he's all like, okay. Oh boy, kinda makes me long for the logic and coherence of the intro from Zero Wing. Oh, and here's an interesting tidbit. According to the game's instructions, Shaq founded the martial art Shakido. And one of his special moves is called the... I can't believe I'm saying this. The Shaq-Yuriken. Make of that what you will. Sadly, even that is not the worst of this game's problems. Neither are the generic settings, the mediocre soundtrack, or the uninspired character designs. The worst part is the controls, which are kinda like wrestling with an octopus. Sure, with perseverance you might win the battle, but you'll end up feeling frustrated and dirty in the process. To show you what I mean, here I am trying to do the Inferno Kick, a special move that theoretically works about like Cammy's Cannon Drill, quarter circle forward and boost, which I swear to God I'm doing. I don't know why it's not working, and just to prove I'm not crazy, here I am doing what is essentially the exact same move in Super Street Fighter 2. Notice that I can make it work pretty much whenever I want it to, and when it doesn't, it's my bad. You win! Now let's return to Shaq Fu. Yes, I am still doing it. Yes, I just lost in the process. know you're in trouble when pulling off special moves is largely a matter of luck in a fighting game. And to add insult to injury, there's this weird lag between when you press a button and when what's supposed to happen actually happens, which makes pulling off even normal moves a Herculean feat. Take heart though, you can beat almost every opponent by just kicking all the time and jumping around a lot. I wish I was joking. Oh, and don't use the taunt button. In keeping with the high standards set by the preceding, all it does is give your opponent a free hit. But if you can get past all that, and that is one big if, hilarity ensues! Knowing full well you've walked into a game that's only good for snark bait, check this action out. Seriously, Garland from Final Fantasy I made better threats than that. Oh, and it gets better. Ladies and gentlemen, the slash fic that nobody wanted.
Basically, the game goes like this. This is what the fighting portion is like.
No! No!
And this is what it's like to read the dialogue. The actual game.
Oh, you stupid.
The dialogue. Yes, depending on my mood, sometimes it's almost worth it.
Nonetheless, there is a goal besides laughing at how stupid this game is. If you're willing to slog through to the bitter end, you'll learn some shocking facts. And by some dark miracle, they somehow managed to make the story make even less sense. But the game's not finished crapping on you. Oh no! You still have to beat the final boss who cheats like a Wall Street dude at tax time. The only reliable strategy for victory is to be psychic. Failing that, stay on the ground, punch a lot, jump somewhere when he vanishes, and try to run down the clock if you get a lead. If you're lucky, really lucky, you just might win. If you're not so lucky, well, I hope you've kept all sharp objects out of reach. Because on top of everything else, you get limited continues in this game. Which means that if you lose this battle over and over, and you will, you'll have to restart at the beginning. I'll give you a few moments to contemplate the horror.
Now, normally I don't show the main part of the ending of a game. Just enough snippets as required to provide a bit of closure. But let's face it, none of you out there are actually going to play this piece of gaming history all the way to the end. Thus, I provide you, gentle viewers, with your glorious reward for completing Shaq Fu.
I'm just as glad I saw that as you are.
A while ago, someone once asked me, "What is the worst game you have ever played all the way to the end?" Now, at the time I didn't really have an answer because normally I only finish games I like. Well, person who asked me that and all other persons who would even think of asking me that, my new answer is Shaq Fu. Chew on that. I mean, Really, I'm at a loss this time. It's that bad. Really, it's good for a few laughs, but play this, whatever it is, seriously at your own risk. Ugh. Laters.
Bite me, old man.